Newly elected Harris County Treasurer has made history. You might be asking how or why. Well, Fox 26's Dominic Keith reports from downtown with the answer.
Harris County has elected its first black treasurer ever. Carla Wyatt started working in the county building 20 years ago as an intern. She'll soon return as an elected official.
It's very special for me because don't make me cry.
It's an emotional accomplishment because not only has Carla Wyatt made history,
it's really exciting to be the first African-American treasurer in the history of Harris County.
This historical achievement also reminds the Houston native of a potentially discouraging discussion that could have kept her from her dreams.
One of my high school counselors told me that college wasn't for everyone. And I said, you're absolutely right. And I graduated 3 times. I have a bachelor's degree in biology. I have a master's degree in biology with a minor in chemistry. I have a PhD in environmental toxicology.
So we know Dr. Carla Wyatt is smart. She's also funny.
I'm Carla like the hurricane, Wyatt like Earp. Some people call me trouble, but that's okay.
Since Election Day, everyone's been asking, what does a doctorate in environmental toxicology have to do with keeping county funds?
What has absolutely nothing to do with being the treasurer. However, I am a researcher and a statistician, which means that I can count real good and I can find stuff.
All right, family, get this video a big thumbs up. And if you're new to the family, subscribe to the channel and join the family. However, there's been this news coming out and we got to talk about this wild situation out of Houston, Texas, right? And I'm talking about Harris County. Yeah, the same Harris County that covers the whole Houston area that made some history not too long ago, right? As you guys heard in the clip, they elected a woman named Carla Wyatt, right? And now I'm not with the whole first black shit. I'm gonna just be upfront. I feel as though we need to get away from divisive rhetoric, period. At the end of the day, it's not about the skin color, it's about the content of your character. I'm big on character, and if you're competent for the job in this case, that's all that matters. Make history by being phenomenal at the job, and obviously they feel as though you're qualified enough, you went through the process, and you are competent enough to uphold that position, even though it has nothing to do with your degrees, but you are more than capable. That's why they qualified you to take the position and seeing you as being suited for the position, right? So all this, I'm the first black person to ever hold this position in the history of the country, right? Stop with the identity politics. Stop with the identity positions, okay? So going with they saying, the first black woman, just because they said it, to be in charge of the bag for the entire county. That's a big deal. And shout out to her for it. Shout out to her for it, right? And I laugh because, like I said, stop with the divisive rhetoric. But I also got to applaud her for upholding a position, right? Being able to be qualified for it. Now, I'm going to be very, very objective and reasonable because I know a lot of people, you know, I'm not going to lie. When I first found out that, you know, she's the first, you know, to, you know, in her lineage to take a position or whatever the case may be. Okay, that's cool. Salute. Make history, sis. Make history. She even came out saying how she wanted to be a role model for the little black girls and, you know, talking about how she got 3 degrees, how she worked her way up, how her success was going to open doors for others, the whole 9 yards. And that's dope in theory. But then reality pulled up with the receipts loudly because now she's been arrested. Yes, she has been arrested. And not for like some old traffic ticket, not for being late on a library book. No, she got hit with charges for burglary of a motor vehicle, right? So I want you guys to see this second clip that I want to show you guys in regards of the whole synopsis is how she ran or how she represents herself and her aura and who she is as a person. And this clip that I'm showing you guys personifies the character that she magnifies on being a role model for, in particular, as she say, black little girls.
Success look like to you in your term as Harris County Treasurer?
Well, success looks like a lot of different things to me in my term as Harris County Treasurer because, first of all, I'm the first African-American person to hold this seat. And so for little minority girls that are looking to their future and trying to figure out what can they achieve? Well, I'm here to tell you that you can achieve anything. I was told in high school that college wasn't for everyone. And I said, you're absolutely correct. And I graduated 3 times. And so my view of success in this particular role is to be a role model for those people who are coming behind me. It has nothing to do with me, but it has everything to do with setting the example.
But on Saturday, Houston police arrested and charged Dr. Wyatt for trying to break into someone else's car. No one answered the door when we tried knocking on Dr. Wyatt's door on Monday. We also tried going to her office.
It's locked.
Court documents reveal in December of 2023, Dr. Wyatt was also arrested for driving while intoxicated. Prosecutors say her blood alcohol concentration level was at least 0.15. The case was eventually dismissed because Dr. Wyatt completed a diversion program. On the Harris County Treasurer page, it states Dr. Wyatt is the first African American to be elected to this position. Her term ends in 2027.
I intend to do the best job possible.
Dr. Wyatt is due back in court on January 2nd. In down.
And there you have it, folks, right? And I have one more clip, but this is where I'm going to be very objective, right? And I'm going to break down what we just seen in regards of her charges for, burglary of a motor vehicle, which is in this last clip, but also, her driving intoxicated. In plain English, because people hear burglary of a motor vehicle and think it's some big legal term. And it literally means you got caught breaking into someone's car and trying to steal something, right? And that's what it is. That's what she's being accused of. A whole county treasurer, the person whose literal job is to manage the public's money. And I know how it looks and how people are making it out to be, the person whose job is literally to manage the public's money out here allegedly stealing out of someone's car. Bruh, that don't even make sense. On the surface, why would someone who makes a 6-figure salary and access to county level money be climbing into someone else's car like she's trying to snatch an aux cord? Oh my goodness. How despicable, right? Now look, I understand how it looks. But this is not a situation where no funds, when it comes to the county money, is being misallocated like a Tim Walz over there, the governor Tim Walz in Minnesota with the Somali group and all the fraud that's going on, right? See, I can separate someone doing their job effectively and efficiently from their personal life. Now, it sounds like to me she's in a toxic domestic relationship. She may have, had items in the car from a man that she was with. A lot of people like to throw stones and hide their hands, family. Let's have the conversation. I'm not saying this actually happened. I'm just adding context to how I'm being reasonable here, because I don't believe that people should be doxxed, especially when it has nothing to do with penalizing them for actually doing something that, holding them accountable in how they're doing something wrong job wise, right? If she's not upholding their responsibility job wise as a treasurer and she's misallocating funds, okay, she needs to be held accountable for that. Well, as far as her personal life, this domestic stuff, yeah, she needs to get situated so she don't be out here looking crazy, because, only takes one time to ruin someone's reputation, which then takes opportunities, everything across the board taken away, right, in the public eye. But I know there's a lot of individuals who may have gone through some dark things or some things in their life where they don't want to be constantly reminded of, or making that the entirety of their image, or making that the entirety of their character, right? Or who they are, or make up who they are. So what I'm saying is she may have been with a dude, and let's say, for example, he was like, oh no, you're not going in my car. And she probably like, I'm getting my stuff out of my car. I'm getting my purse out of my car. I'm getting my phone out of my car. Let's say, for example, he caught her cheating. This is hypothetical. I'm not saying this happened. And her phone was in the car. Oh, you're not. And he like, oh, you're not going in my car. You think you going in my car? You ain't going in my car. That's my car. And she like, well, my phone is in there and I'll work hard for that goddamn phone. And I want my damn phone out your car. And next thing you know, he said, oh, well, I don't know what to tell you because you cheated on me, and then you're not entitled to your stuff, and it's in my car, so you can't go in my car. And 9 times out of 10, she probably got her stuff out the car by any means necessary. Now, am I condoning someone breaking into someone's car? Absolutely not. But I'm saying some people unfortunately go through some provoking domestic relationships, right? That lead into a domestic violence situation where the guy obviously provoked her and didn't give her access to her phone. So she did the thing that she felt as though was necessary to get what she's entitled to, which is her phone, because she paid her bill. Going to my example, and he probably called the cops and made her like, whoa, I don't know who she is. Yeah, she tripping. We done. Relationship over. I don't know. She just broke in my car because she mad and I don't know her like that. I ain't even know expect her to act like that. She provoking me, playing victim, but all he had to do was let her get her phone, or he go in his own car and give her her phone, right? So I'm saying I can be very reasonable in separating personal life from job. There's nothing like Minnesota type of vibes here when it comes to Governor Tim Walz and the Somalians and using autism centers and the vulnerability of kids over here, basically using America as a pilgrimage to send all these Somalis over to Minnesota to do this fraud scheme so politicians could get kickbacks, right? I don't see none of that here. So what I'm saying is, I understand how people making it, but let's chill because I'm not protecting her because she's a sister, because I'm black, nothing like that. I'm just calling it for what it is and saying that some people have been in some toxic relationships. And I want you guys to check out this next clip.
Harris County Treasurer seeking re-election in 2026 faces no primary opponent in March, but she is facing a criminal charge tonight. Carla Wyatt is accused of burglary of a motor vehicle. With more details about what investigators say happened, let's go live out to ABC 13's Tom Abrams. He's live downtown with the story. Tom?
Gina, good evening from downtown. Wyatt was not at work today, and someone we spoke with inside the office had no comment about what allegedly happened on Saturday along Washington Avenue.
As treasurer, Carla Wyatt manages Harris County's money, but now she's also managing a defense for a criminal misdemeanor. Wyatt is charged with burglary of a vehicle after investigators say she was in this parking lot Saturday when she opened the unlocked door of a minivan and got inside. The owner and witnesses called police. Investigators report that Wyatt denied any wrongdoing and told them she had permission to be in the Toyota minivan. The owner told investigators she did not know Wyatt and did not give her permission. Wyatt did not answer the door at her home when we visited, and employees at her office told us she was not at work. The district attorney's office provided ABC 13 a statement which read, "We are aware that Carla Wyatt was arrested and charged with burglary of a motor vehicle. As this case is pending, our office will not comment further on the details of the investigation. What we can say is this: the pursuit of justice in Harris County is guided by the law and evidence, not by political affiliation, public office, or party ties. No one is above the law. No one is exempt from accountability. Our responsibility is and always will be to the people in this community." Wyatt is out on bond and is expected in court later this week.
Well, there you have it, folks, right? And I'm not saying, like I say, I'm not saying people can't make mistakes, and I know how to separate personal from job. And at the end of the day, let's take a step back. Maybe she's going through something, okay? I mean, how many times have people have screamed, "Oh, he has mental health issues," right? And people have actually committed murders and they're still getting a slap on the wrist and mental health, right? Well, what is wrong with this situation? This woman has done nothing wrong in regards of her job or stealing from taxpaying citizens and stealing from the county, right? And like I'm saying, she needs to obviously clear this up so she don't be out here looking crazy, because people out here basically saying like, how you gonna run for public office, especially something like county treasurer, and you better have your life together because this ain't a normal job. You're not flipping burgers or stocking shelves. You literally in charge of millions of dollars of taxpayer money. You're the one signing off on checks, handling public funds, and managing the bag for the entire county. That's big responsibility. If your personal life is messy, what makes anyone think the books ain't messy too? I get it. Take your feelings out of it, family. You know, that's my take on this. And I'm a role model energy. It's sort of contradicting if you out here doing this. I get it. But like I said, she could be in a toxic relationship just going through things. and dealing with a bad guy, right? Hypothetically, we don't know what people go through. And I'm big on letting it play out in court, right? Let her prove her innocence, right? And obviously there's more to it. But what I do want to say about setting a great example for little black girls, quote unquote, let's talk about let's get away from the whole culture of performative politics, right? Like where people run on identity instead of integrity. Just keep it on integrity, all right? But I hope you guys got some value from this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And now the question is, what's next? Because I think the people in the district got to ask themselves, is we being too harsh? Did she do anything to mismanage money? Right? So I'm gonna let that sink in. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Should this woman be in office? Should this woman still run an audit? I was thinking of audit and office at the same time, so I said audit. But should we stop so much focus on doxing somebody or taking things so personal, and let's focus on character, integrity, and if she's doing her job effective first? So I'm gonna leave y'all on that one. Catch you in the next one. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys for rocking with me. Peace.